Hi, everybody. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome. Testing. Okay. Good evening, night owls. You found Candlelight Radio, a soft-spoken station. We untangle difficult thoughts, explore curious ideas, and make the mind feel a little less lonely. I'm Arista, and tonight is our very first transmission. Whether you're joining me live or listening to the replay later, get comfortable, dim the lights, grab a blanket, pour yourself something comforting to drink, and allow the day to become a little quieter. Candlewave Radio is going to be a place for soft-spoken conversations, mental health reflections, creative rabbit holes, sensory ASMR, and the thoughts that seem to become louder after dark. Tonight we are talking about romanticizing your life, not pretending that everything is perfect, not ignoring the difficult parts, just learning how to notice the life that is already happening around us. around us. So, for this first episode, obviously it is brand new. The first part of the evening is going to be Scent of the Night. Tonight, I am going to be using my perfume, Always Floor. Always Floor. Always Floor. Always Floor. And one of the things that I want to do is scents bring memories, and also scents bring calmness at the end of the day, whether it be perfume or a candle. Scents always bring some form of relaxation. Always Floor. To me, this scent of the day reminds me of spring. And since it is almost the end of summer, and it might be the start of the fall season, I think of different flowers from different seasons, and this is the perfect scent for it. It reminds me of Belle from Beauty and the Beast, and I love it. Scents can change the atmosphere of an ordinary room almost instantly. The furniture hasn't moved. The dishes may still be waiting. Your problems have not disappeared. But suddenly, the room feels warmer, softer, more mysterious. Maybe that is one of the simplest forms of romanticizing life. Nothing outside of our world has changed dramatically. We have simply changed the way we are experiencing each and every moment. Now, before the start of each deep discussion or deep chat, there's always going to be one central question for tonight's ASMR Candlewave Radio episode. The question of the day is, can romanticizing ordinary life help us feel more present, present, present? Or can it become another pressure to make everything look perfect? Perfect. Perfect. For me, I think the answer is actually both. Romanticizing life can help us notice beauty, create comforting rituals, and feel more connected to the present. But it can also become exhausting when we start believing every moment needs to look cinematic. Every meal needs to be beautiful. Every room needs to be spotless. Every outfit needs to belong on a mood board. Every sad moment that we have has to be beautiful. So tonight, I want to explore that helpful side of romanticizing your life while also being honest about where it can become unrealistic. Let's get started. This is called the deep dive. Deep dive. This is where we talk about the topic of the day, which is romanticizing life. Life. So, for today, I want to start by talking about why ordinary life becomes invisible. Invisible. Most of our lives are not made up of dramatic milestones. We tend to make it up out of small moments, whether that be getting ready for work, driving home, making something to eat, waiting for laundry, standing in line at the store, or etc. Getting into bed and just waiting for the day to start over the next day. The big moments matter, of course, but most of life happens in the in-between. 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 And because those moments repeat, they start becoming invisible. 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 I personally tend to rush through things because I'm waiting for what I have to do next. We rush through breakfast because we're thinking about work and we don't want to be late. We rush through work sometimes because we just want to go home and rest. We rush through the evening because we're already thinking about what we have to do tomorrow. Sometimes in this day and age, it feels like we are constantly trying to arrive at the next part of our lives without embracing what is happening now. But when we keep doing that, the present starts feeling like a hallway. A hallway. Not in between, in a hallway that we are only passing through. But that's what I want to talk about today. Romanticizing life can interrupt that pattern. It asks us to slow down and notice what is already there. the light coming through the window, the sound of your favorite song, the theme song of your favorite TV show, the feeling of clean sheets on the bed, a meal that tastes good. All of these little things is what romanticizing life means. And that is something that is small. But remember, small does not mean meaningless. Think about one ordinary part of your day that usually disappears into the background. Is that commuting for work, your lunch break, driving home from work, being at home and doing homework? What is that for you? For me, mornings feel so fast. I love my sleep. I love to get every ounce of sleep that I can. And so sometimes I have to rush in the morning to get food for breakfast and to drive and rush to work without being late. If you have that picture of your mind of something that goes rushed during your normal day, think about what would happen if you treated that part of your day as something worth noticing. In other words, romanticizing. The next section I want to talk about is rituals. Rituals can change the feeling of a moment, whether that be prayer, reading the Bible, choosing something like a candle, lighting the wick, spraying a scent, turning off the overhead lights. Rituals can change a lot of things. It can make you stop in time. I feel that if you give yourself a routine, to give yourself some meditation in whatever ritual form that is, it can be extremely small, but it can turn into something that will help your mental health in the long run. For me, that's music. I love to sing. I love it when I get home and I may be feeling worn out, but I can just sing my heart out. I can watch videos about certain topics and just zone out and just relax and enjoy the moment. I love being with my friends, my fiance, because I get to learn to live in the moment. Live in the moment, moment, moment. Rituals do not have to be so elaborate. They could be small. Just looking at a photo, putting your food on a plate instead of eating directly from the container, using your favorite cup to drink, opening the window and feeling the breeze, writing and journaling about your day. The purpose is not to make every task glamorous. It is to give yourself a reason to be present while you're doing these things. Sometimes the smallest rituals tell your mind, this moment matters too. Now, the next topic I want to talk about is romanticizing life does not mean denial. I'm not trying to say that you should ignore when life is stressful, when life is exhausting. Relationships are complicated. Your mental health is not in a good spot. Sometimes you light a candle and you still feel anxious. The scents, the perfume, the candle, the laughter, your favorite song playlist, none of that magically can transform the situation or fix the problem or erase the depression, the anxiety, whatever is going on in your brain. But those things, romanticizing your life, can become small forms of care for yourself. They can make a difficult evening feel slightly more manageable than it was. Romanticizing life can mean making a dinner for yourself when you're sad, taking a long shower after a difficult day, and hearing the water fall on your skin, putting fresh bed sheets on a bed, praying to the Lord, watching a movie you love, calling someone, your best friend that you trust. That difficult feeling may still be present, but now you are caring for the person who is experiencing it. That is very different from pretending the feeling is not there. When you're a child, or you have a future child in your family, 1.5, maybe 2 years old, they don't know how to describe emotions with words like we can as adults. And even as adults, giving yourself a routine to identify to your partner or to yourself what your emotion is in the moment can help you realize you are bigger than that emotion. I am angry. I am sad. I am anxious. I am hurt, etc. And that just as a child learns how to verbalize their emotions with words to their mom or dad, same thing for us as adults. When we figure out how to word what we're feeling to our husband or wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, friend, it makes things a lot smaller than they seem. Now, those are the good sides of romanticizing your life. I also want to talk about when romanticizing becomes too much pressure to be a perfectionist. For me, I like things to be perfect, especially on social media, but I have to realize that's not going to always be the case. Excuse me. The internet, especially in our modern day and age, turns romanticizing life into this huge theatrical performance. Suddenly, every morning needs to have yoga or homemade bread, fresh flowers, a handwritten journal every day, a perfect princess-esque outfit from Disney. Meanwhile, I forget where to put my keys. and I'm trying to remember where I place things, and everything seems to be going wrong. You do not need to look cinematic every day like you're coming out of a Disney movie. You don't need to spend money to prove that you are enjoying life. You do not need to buy an entirely new personality from a home decor store. Your life can still be meaningful when it's rushed, imperfect, because at the end of the day, we're all human, imperfect human beings who are trying to see life in the best way that we can, even when it's hard. Romanticizing life should help you experience your life more deeply. It should not make you feel like you are failing to perform it correctly. Perfection will never exist. We will never be 100% perfect our whole lifetime. Now that we've gone through the deep chat, this is what I call the burnout break. We have used a lot of our thinking energy already tonight. Before we reflect any further, let's soften the noise and allow our minds to rest for a moment as I do some thematic ASMR triggers based on the theme of today. Okay. Now, let us move on to our next segment. This is going to be the Candlewave notebook section. You don't have to physically write anything down if you don't want to. You can just listen. You can simply listen and question. Let each question settle. In my notebook, I wrote down some questions. What part of the day do I normally rush through? The next prompt I have. The next prompt that I have is, what ordinary thing already brings me comfort? Prompt 3. Am I trying to enjoy my life or trying to make it look enjoyable. Prompt number 4. What small ritual could make tomorrow feel 5% better? The next prompt. What beautiful detail have I overlooked lately? And last question. What part of my current life might I miss someday, even though it feels ordinary right now? Now, for these, you do not need perfect answers. Write whatever is in your heart. The notebook is not here to grade you. It's not here to grade you. It is simply a place to take out the fog and place it somewhere that you can see it. And so, if you write it down in the comments, or you think about it and come back and comment later, and see your comments from where you were at, it could help you to physically see where you were at and how you've grown. So, can romanticizing life help us feel more present? I think it can. But only when it helps us notice reality instead of perfecting it. Romanticizing life is not about pretending that everything is beautiful. It is about recognizing that beauty and difficulty can coexist in the same day. You can still feel anxious, but enjoy the scent of your candle or perfume. You can be tired and still appreciate the sunset. You can have so many aspirations and not know where you're going, and still have drive to make one of them happen, or more. Maybe it is about realizing that your real life is already happening. And I hope that today's episode is a part of that. Now, for each episode, I'm going to do a dream forecast for our second to last segment, which will be kind of describing what the theme is through a forecast of the day. For tonight's forecast, skies will be softly illuminated by scattered candlelight. Tonight, there is a modern possibility of unfinished thoughts returning after midnight. Listeners are advised to place those thoughts somewhere safe and revisit them tomorrow. Warm blankets are expected across most bedrooms. Small pockets of beauty may appear without warning your favorite songs, kitchen windows, quiet streets, clean sheets, and morning drinks. No elaborate itinerary is required. Tomorrow's atmosphere may improve with one intentional ritual and permission to move slowly. Thank you for tuning in to the first official transmission of Candlelight Radio. Tonight, we explored romanticizing ordinary life without pretending everything is perfect. We talked about rituals, presence, pressure, mental health, and learning to notice the moments that we usually rush past. Future transmissions may include anxiety, overthinking, burnout, guilt, loneliness, ADHD, difficult emotions, and the strange little thoughts that become louder at night. I hope that each week Candlewave Radio is a place for your personal reflection and companionship, not professional mental health treatment. Please, I ask of you every week to reach out to a trusted professional, a trusted person you know, when you need more support than a late night broadcast like mine can provide. This is Candlewave Radio with Arista Mosina signing off for tonight. And next week, we'll be talking about ADHD and also other parts of the mind about ADHD, which I also have in my own life. But for now, keep your candle glowing, keep your curiosity alive, and remember that ordinary moments still count. Good night.